Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Thank you! Woohoo! Thank you so much. Welcome to Momologues. I'm Marissa.
And I'm Reagan. And let's get this show started with a big round of applause for the whole reason we're here, Moms!
Moms! Moms! We love you, Moms. Now, the question that's on everyone's mind, how long do I have to hold my bladder for?
And the answer, there will be a brief intermission about halfway through the show, but in case you can't hold it, bathrooms are located downstairs. And in case there's an emergency, means of egress, the way you came up, over here, in the back, windows would probably work.
And if you saw something you really wanted from one of the vendor tables downstairs, we have Wild Perennial Jewelry and Slipstream Studio Jewelry, both gorgeous stuff. If you didn't get a chance to buy something and you really wanted to, they're going to reopen again at the end of the show for about 15 minutes as you're leaving. So you'll have your chance then, but they're closed until the show's over.
Same goes for the fundraiser outside. And we are also doing a fundraiser for the Main Street Arts, which we are sitting in right now. So there's a little bin downstairs. So if you can donate, it is much appreciated to support shows like this with the arts. So thank you.
And every mom that came in, you got your little gift bag and a raffle ticket. We wish we could give extra gifts to all of you, but we have 12 special gifts that we will be raffling off throughout the show, and you'll get little extra bonuses. So make sure you have that held on to for you.
And if you don't win, then your kids are your prize. So.
Yay! You won.
Genetic lottery. But as for the typical cell phones and all that stuff, we request that you keep it maybe a few shots, a few videos, just to not disturb your neighbor. We are being filmed, so.
Yay! All right, to start us off, we are very fortunate in that we are doing a sketch inspired by our moms. Yeah, they're very, very special humans, and I'm going to introduce you to my mom. She is a wonderful angel of a human being. She is a woo-woo hippie Reiki master who reminds me every day, Marissa, I hope you're enjoying this moment while you have it, because you could die at any moment. She has a great sense of humor, clearly. And at the end of every joke, she always lets us know by going, "It's a joke, I'm kidding." So comics, you know, if you ever tell a joke and it goes over the audience's head, just pull a Martine. Speaking of, let's welcome my mom, Martine, up on the stage. Martine! I love you, Mom. You're the best. Come on up. You can use this staircase over here.
And I would like to welcome my mom, Karen. She is a funny, empathetic, just gem of a human, and she goes by Nana Witch, thanks to my nephew. She's just incredible. Beautiful person who made it her life's mission to be a great mom, the best mom she could be, regardless of the age of her children. Where are you going? When will you be home? Who are you going to be with? Why do you want to go anyway? Just the questions she asks on the daily. So this is where I would say, please put your hands together for my incredible mama, but unfortunately she is recovering from COVID in Connecticut. So she will be played tonight by somebody sharing 50% of her DNA, my brother Eric. So.
Woohoo! And as Reagan alluded, she is being played by Eric because to start us off, we are doing an opening sketch called Conversations with Mom, and I am playing my mom, Martine. Martine is playing me.
And I'm playing Karen, so kind of a misnomer there, and then Eric will be playing me. So I hope you got all that down, and it's cool.
Oh my goodness, honey. You'll never believe who I bumped into at the grocery store today. Anthony Schmelly. You remember him from kindergarten? He loved that long hair of yours. It was so shiny and beautiful. Now it's so short, he probably wouldn't recognize you. Well, also, you're an adult now. Well, he works at the fish department. And you know, I hate Yucky. But I had to go over and say hi.
Really? So anyway, I was at the cashier waiting for the manager because she wouldn't take my coupon. So I'm on the phone with the dentist because he finally called me back. And he's worried that I'm experiencing pain there because of a former root canal. So he's thinking that the oral sensitivity is caused by an infection. And so I'm repeating this all back to him to make sure I've got it. And then the cashier's giving me the weirdest look, like she's never heard of somebody with an oral sensitivity before.
Was it Anthony? You know what? I think it was Chris. Chris McLaughlin. Not from kindergarten, from 5th grade. You remember the science fair, the pop rocks? He had that Labrador retriever, Sammy, with all the drool. We went to the science fair together. It was all of us. It was you, me, your brother, your father. You know your dad. You know him. And there was the science fair exhibit about the tree. Oh, speaking of the tree, did I tell you we have to cut the tree down in the front yard? Yeah, I really want to turn it into a giant gnome home. But your father just isn't all that fond of us having a giant gnome home.
So anyway, the manager finally shows up, and I'm repeating what I told to the cashier initially, that the coupon I have for the 20% off, it says it expired yesterday, and I know. But the problem is, I thought today was yesterday. So it's an honest mistake. They should honor it. And she says, no, the cashier was right the first time. And I'm like, look, I'm an old lady. I get confused. You should take it off. And so she says, fine. She'll take the 20% off. Right? Fine. Every little bit helps. So it's good. I got the 20% off the pants for your father.
Oh, speaking of gnomes, did you see the sweet fairy post I sent you on Facebook? It was so darling. Oh, you know, it really stunk over there in the fish department. With Chris. You know what? Oh, you know what? It wasn't Christopher. It was Kevin McLaughlin, not from 5th grade, from your senior year of high school. You remember.
So anyway, as I'm waiting for her to do the discount, I happen to notice these nifty eclipse glasses for today. And what timing? Here comes the eclipse now. Now we can put them on and watch it. But you want to go first? Here, you go. You look at it first. I'm your mother. You should look first. And I'll just start. Oh no, I shouldn't just look at it. Oh no. You know what? You keep them. I'm going to just put on my normal sunglasses, and it'll be fine.
Mom, those aren't the...
Oh, jeez. Okay, well, it's okay. You know, I'm not going to look at the sun, but oh my God, I'm seeing spots. Oh my God, what if I'm going blind?
You're not going blind, Ma. The lenses are just dirty.
My mom and Eric, everyone! Woo! Thank you. And we're going to start off with a mom. We have, for our first act tonight, Annie Landenberger with It's All in the Delivery.
Woo! Annie!
Woo-hoo!
Hi there, it's great to be here. I was just thinking about my own mom, and if she were still upright, she'd be right in the first row. Always a fan. It was her birthday today. Happy birthday, Ma. So. I became a mom 35 years and 11 months ago, and I remember that pregnancy very well. I'm a pretty bright gal, but I was bamboozled by the thought of having one of those ivory snowbox babies or Gerber baby, one of Raphael's cherubs. I knew I was having one of them. And then he comes and maybe he'll be smart. Round 2 came, and I'm the inveterate bargain hunter, okay? Truly, it gets me in so much trouble. I got a twofer. Twins. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. After the sonogram, I walk up to Ben and Jerry's, and I go in, and I put my arm on the counter, make it a triple. My life is over. It was fine. Pregnancy went fine. I'm getting bigger and bigger, and I'm getting bigger. And they were all cattywampus inside, so we had to schedule a C-section. So the night before, I'm falling asleep, and I have this amazing feeling of completeness and peace. I'm going to go in, and at 8 o'clock, my obstetrician will have all of her tools neatly cleaned and sharpened, and everything will be just perfect, the way that mothering should be, right? Well, guess what? Rule number 1 about mothering is don't expect anything, because nothing you expect will happen, and everything else will. Okay? Just so you know, you young gals out there and guys. So the night before, wouldn't you know, I go into labor. Oh, no, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. What are we going to do? Who's going to take care of me? We get to the hospital. My OB is on that shift. She does a scan, and she says, guess what? They've shifted. You can go naturally. I said, oh, okay, but I don't think so. And she said, what? I said, well, I've forgotten how to breathe. You know, all that Lamaze, sniff, huff, huff, sniff, huff, huff, sniff. She said, I think you're going to remember how to breathe. But we need to do a pelvimetry to make sure that your body can handle giving birth to twins. And I'm 3 times bigger than a small shed right now, just so you know. And so there's Rhode Island Hospital, and there's Women and Infants. There's a tunnel underneath. So I'm on a gurney, and like a couple of charioteers, my candy stripers start wheeling me under the tunnel. And one of them says to the other, oh no, we forgot the kits. I said, kits? What kits? And they said, well, in case you go into labor in the tunnel here, emergency delivery kits. And I said, oh, no, you don't. The pelvimetry was fine. Twin number 1 was like that, totally ready to come out in conversation. Twin number 2, I don't know where he was. He was up there. But we get back, and the doctor says, okay, we're good. So what about drugs? And I say, oh, no, we're going to do this naturally. I'll breathe, we're good, no. And she said, okay. I said, well, what are you thinking? And she said, well, if twin 2 is a footling, I might have to reach up in there and yank him out by his foot. And that might be a little uncomfortable. And I said, that sounds like a euphemism, Doc. What do you recommend? So we go for an epidural. I'm on my gurney in a dimly lit room. I feel a beached whale. I have barely a shred of human dignity left in me. And in comes a very cute young nurse, clipboard in hand, weighing very little, and says, okay, now let's get going with the anesthesiology, shall we? Okay. Name, yeah. Date of birth, yeah. And how much do you weigh? 205 pounds. Well, at the same time, in come 2 incredibly good-looking docs. Okay, just because you're on a diet doesn't mean you can't read the menu. So I swear it was Dr. Kildare and that other guy, Ben Casey. Oh, somebody remembers. I know I'm dating myself. Somebody has to. But anyway, so they're yapping, and so she didn't hear it. And she said, I'm sorry. They were distracting me. How much do you weigh? I said, 205 pounds. And she still didn't get it because the docs were yapping away. They were so excited about a twin delivery. And she said, I'm sorry. One more time, how much do you weigh? 205 pounds. The room blanched. You could hear a pin drop. The doctors leave surreptitiously, and Gidget writes down a couple of other things besides 205. Perhaps she was saying double dose. She leaves. In comes the anesthesiologist. Seems like a good enough guy. Okay, how about it? You ready for your epidural? Yeah, sure, okay. He said, all right now, just roll to your side. And I said, okay, doc, I got this. I was so proud of myself. But to get me up, I was going to need a crane. So, all right. He says, okay, now to get access to your spine, I need you to pull your knees to your chin. Okay, I got this, doc. I said, please pull your knees to your chin. How am I doing? He said, please pull your knees to your chin. You're making this very difficult for me. The footnote is, I have 3 fine, loving, and handsome boys. And happy Mother's Day to all of you.
Time for Annie. Oh, that was so great. Next up, we have Theo Kravchuk with Generational.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, maybe I can take this off. Is that okay? Thank you all for being here. 3 o'clock, what a great time for a show for mothers. Like 3:30. It's just the perfect time. Yeah. And what a nice day. Really, thank you all for being here. Wow. I was going to share a story about my grandmother, hence I called it generational, but I thought of another story since I visited my mother recently, just a week ago. I grew up on a farm in Vermont. Yeah, woo, there we go. Yeah, someone for farms in Vermont. My mother just had such an interest in having chickens. That was her main drive. She just wanted a lot of chickens, and then it grew. It grew. She wanted to add sheep, sheep and pigs, and so the space changed. The farm grew, and my father ended up doing more work. Yeah, when I visited a week ago, I heard, I got out of the car and I walked across the field to say hello. She was outside walking the dog, and she came right up to me and she told me, she's like, whoa, I got to tell you what happened to me. I was in the sheep pen like 4 days ago, and Orville, she names all the sheep, Orville the ram, who's in his own pen, he rammed me. He came at me, and I was just lying there on the ground for like 2 hours. And I thought, wow, could it have been 2 hours? I really thought about it. I was like, I think that may have grown the more she told it. I think maybe it started with 20 minutes. I was just like, but she was there, and she was in pain because the sheep had rammed her, and there I was just taking this all in the field. My father was just 5 feet away planting crops or making space in the garden for crops. And yeah, and so she told me, I've been out of commission for the past 5 days. I haven't been able to take care of the animals. I've had to call out of work, and I was still just taking it all in, and then she told me, your father's been working extra. He's been working extra hard. And then she told me about this other moment where my dad had been injured and been out of commission, and I understood this kind of intermarital relationship where when one of them isn't able to work, the other has to take on the role of, taking care of the farm, feeding the animals. I'm not sure exactly what it is, and I was just amazed. Yeah. Yeah. My mother makes me think. My mother is a cause for a lot of silences in my life, a lot of reflection, a lot of things. She's made me the way I am, I feel, who I am. She's definitely shaped me. Yeah, I'd say the other day I was just so struck with thought. I was just like so many thoughts about my mother. Like something came up, and I was like, I just need to go for a run. I just need to like get out of the city. I live in Burlington, kind of a city, I went into the Intervale, and I was thinking about it. I was like, this is kind of like the Central Park of Burlington, in a way. Kind of. But I got running. I haven't been running in a little bit. And I was thinking about all these things, like my mother, like what has come up, like the pain that she's in, the situation. And I'm just jogging, and I haven't been running in a little bit. And people are passing me. They're kind of like coming up behind me, but they're a little shy. They're like, oh, sorry, I'm coming by. I'm coming around. And so I move aside, and I'm like, oh, kind of like in the moment. And I'm still running again, just like thinking about all these things, and the same sort of like shy response, like how do you come up behind someone in the middle of the woods? Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, it's hard to know how. And the other thing I noticed was like I like to make eye contact with people that I pass, because otherwise I'm just kind of like trying to avoid paths with people as we're running in the middle of nowhere. It's like maybe like trying to find connection, trying to find something in this natural place. I thought about it. I thought about my mother, and I'll always be thinking about her. She'll just follow me, be with me. Like I don't know what to make of it. I don't know. Maybe you have mothers that you think about, that follow you, that are always on your mind a little bit. Yeah. It's amazing, yeah. Because they do so much for you. They did so much for me. I can't speak for you, but my mother has done so much for me. And she specifically, she does things sometimes that I don't ask for, and that's just a quality of hers. She does something that I didn't ask for, and then when I'm like, I really appreciate that, but that's not what I wanted right now. She's like, oh, she just feels so bad. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. That's terrible." I'm gonna leave the stage now just with a great, amazing thank you for my mom. Thank you, and thanks to all the moms that are here. Yeah.
Well, Theo! Moms make us think, huh? All right, next, we would like to welcome up Ramsey Demeter with Ford frickin' Ranchero. Woo!
Okay. Well, the whole thing I had prepared might have to just be thrown out, and we're just gonna wing it a little bit. Okay. Valentine's Day, right? Mother's Day. Okay. Cool. All right, Mother's Day. Let's get it. Yeah. So, I love my mom. Her name's Melissa. She's fantastic, and I'll probably tell a story or two about her. But first, I just want to get something off my chest, and that's that. The concept of parenthood is pretty terrifying to me. And, respect to the parents out there, but, this might be a little controversial in this room, but sometimes you guys get a little too much credit. Just gonna say that. Oh, did I just say that? Yeah, and partially why I'm saying that, a little biased here. Excuse me. I did just have a vasectomy recently. So, thank you. The concept of parenthood is obviously not something I'm pursuing at this time in my life, and maybe won't ever. Sometimes people think, oh, you don't have kids, you're so selfish, I think my sister might think that, maybe my mom, they're like, come on, let's have some kids around here, let's do this. And I'm like, it's all right, I'm not selfish, I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to, I do some work with kids. I try to raise them up. I love kids. I think they're great, each one teach one. It takes a village kind of thing. That's my mindset. But I will tell you this. I think the scariest thing to encounter in maybe like a post-apocalyptic wasteland kind of scenario, moms. That's right. They'll do anything for their kids, so don't mess with them. Just you see a mom in that wasteland, just steer clear, that kind of thing. And that has nothing to do with this story that I actually want to share, but, thanks for humoring me there. If you want to be like, time to get off stage, that'd be cool, because I'm not keeping track of time, so. Cool, so my mom was born in Wyoming. When she moved to Sacramento, California for high school, and after she graduated high school, she went and worked in Yosemite to do some wildlife rehab stuff, which is really cool. She was raising baby bears and bottle feeding foxes and stuff. And then she moved to Los Angeles because she was always a performer, musician, fantastic voice, right? So she wanted to be a rock star. And she got pretty close. She performed a lot. She married my dad. He's a drummer. He's still drumming. He runs a drum school in Southern California. But, so when I was born, she moves to LA by the time she's 20, by the time she's 25, she's got 2 kids, so I came home from the hospital to a party house in Hollywood, and I would say some of my caregivers might have been heavily, let's just say, Los Angeles in the early 80s, cocaine was definitely a thing going on, so, we got a little wild. Well, they like to party, I don't know. Anyway, I'd say I had a pretty good upbringing. I'd say one of the most terrifying times, though, when I think I nearly almost lost my life with my mom and her Ford frickin' Ranchero. Do you know that car? It's kind of like a car-truck hybrid. It was made in the 60s and the 70s, and kind of like a Subaru Brat sort of thing, but different, made in the 60s, yeah. So anyway, we lived on the top of a mountain in Santa Barbara, California. Fantastic place, at this old hippie commune called Flores Flats. It was no longer a hippie commune, but what happens to a hippie commune after most of the hippies leave? It just becomes affordable housing. And it was a fantastic place for me to grow up, wandering the woods, no electricity, starting fires, chasing animals, catching toads, whatever. It was great. And I had a friend coming up and visiting me that one day, and this was like his parents were lawyers, they had a mansion in the foothills, this whole thing, and he was just like, "What is this place? It's so weird." Anyway, so we're driving back down the mountain to town in the Ford Ranchero, and me and Greg are in the back of the truck, like really cool parents used to do, you know, let your kids just be there, and we're driving down this steep mountain road. If anybody's been there, Gibraltar Road, it's legendary, it's epic. It's like, you go from 3,000 feet, you can get to the beach in about half an hour, so it's a really steep road. There's like incredible views of sky, mountains, foothills, Pacific Ocean, fantastic, beautiful place. And we're in the back of the Ford Ranchero, and we're just whooping it up. We're hooting and hollering, we're having the best time. And then my mom says something, I can't hear her. What's that, Mom? No brakes! I look at Greg, you know, and so we go around the turn, and we pick up some speed, and we go around another turn, and we pick up some more speed, and then we go around this other turn, and we see the biggest turn of the whole road. It's a full U-turn, and straight ahead on our trajectory is a cliff, you know, just like fly off the mountain, right? How are we going to make this U-turn? Well, luckily, up here on the right, there's kind of like a runaway truck ramp sort of thing. It's like a big berm. And so my mom, now, hold on, kids, you know, like big steering wheel. She's on the bucket seat, like, you know, and like bombs up this hill like a skateboard on a ramp or something like that, and just bombs up, slows down. We get to the top. She goes, and then we stop. But for a moment, she says, "Jump! Now! Get out!" And we go, "Oh!" We bail. And tumble into the dirt. And then the car, we look back at Mom. She's in the truck. She didn't bail. Oh, no. She's with the Ranchero. This is her car, you know? It's just backing up. So she starts backing up. She's like, okay. And gaining speed, right back. And then she, like, cranks the wheel, spins a 180, stops. Huge cloud of dust. She gets out. She's like, "Boys, I think that pizza party's gonna have to wait." Something like that. But it's not totally over. I got 30 more seconds, I hope. I'm gonna do it. So my neighbor Jeff, he's this crab fisherman. What do you call that? A crabman? A crabber? A crabby, yeah. So he's a crabby and a surfer. And he comes down the road about 20 minutes later, and he picks us up. Fantastic, cool, we can get to town. That's great. By that time, we're still pretty traumatized, nerves not fully settled. Okay, so he's driving to town with us, and he's like, "Oh, man, that sounds like a pretty tough time." Okay. What does he do? On one of the next big turns on this giant mountain road, he pulls the e-brake, and like slides around the thing. I freak out. My mom bursts into tears. Greg is just like, "Oh, what's happening?" You know? And Jeff, is just like laughing his ass off. Anyway, we drop Greg off at his parents', and my mom is like, "Do not tell your parents." Okay? Okay, I don't need a lawsuit or anything like that. You want Greg to come over here ever again? Yeah, don't tell him either. Okay, cool. So I told my mom that I was going to share this story, and she was like, "Yeah, I used to be a badass, but now I'm a flat ass. Whatever." But she is still alive and kicking, and she's awesome, and I want to get her out to Vermont sooner than later. So, anyway, thank you.
Awesome. One more time for Ramsey. Next up, we have Katie Bissett with an O to LB.
I wanted to build suspense, so that's why I started walking so late. Okay. Hi, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. Boy, howdy, so exciting. My name is Katie Bissett, and I know what you're thinking. Why is that Hot Topic Special Edition troll doll speaking? And I don't know if we know what a Hot Topic is over here, but spooky store. Okay, chain pants. So, a little summary about me. Anyway, so yeah, we're talking about our moms. I have a really amazing mom. She's incredible. She is so quirky. She passed down a lot of really amazing things to me. Like she like gave me her creativity and her compassion, her like crippling IBS. Wow, I just feel so blessed. You know what, though? In addition to that, I mean, there's so many things. But we also share just a wild love for tattoos. We love tattoos. Yeah, we love to hear of her tattoos. Fun fact, I did get 9 tattoos in 1 year. And that's called a quarter life crisis. But that's fun. But my mom, she hates my tattoos. She absolutely hates them. And that's fair because I hate her tattoos. I hate her tattoos. That is, she has just some really fascinating stuff that she's chosen to sport on her body. She has what is known as, like, in the tattoo world, because I know, I don't, in the tattoo world as, like, a tattoo faux pas, which is we, like, don't get someone's initials on your body, right? Don't get someone's name, don't get someone's initials. She has her own, which is pretty cool. If you're ever wondering, you're like, hey, I want to get my own initials on my body, where do I get that? And the answer is, according to my mom, absolutely everywhere. You just get, she has her initials on 4 separate spots on her body, with the same font, like the same design around them, same coloring. It's a fascinating choice and I love it. Technically, she did have 5 of the same tattoo of her initials. However, she got a butt lift, medically induced, by the way. That's why it's covered by insurance, okay? It was a medically induced butt lift. She had a lower back tattoo of her initials. And as the surgeon was about to put her under for anesthesia, they were like, hey, girlie, so did you want us to cover up like half the tattoo? Or did you want us to like do the whole thing? And she had to think about it, which is wild to me that you would have to think about that. But don't worry, folks. Do not worry. She did get another tattoo on top of that. It's the same one. It's her initials again. But hey, fun fact, it was completely numb, she said. So if you are looking to have a painless lower back tattoo, get a medically induced butt lift and you won't feel a thing. It's amazing. So that's just like some fun stuff on that end. So my mom and I, also work together. Extraordinary, I know. Really great stuff. 6 years now. I haven't left, and that's crazy. My mom, again, she's a really vibrant woman, and she just like storms through the door in my office all the time, absolutely unwarranted. There's absolutely no warning. That would be totally okay if I didn't do like phones for a living. So I'm on call for like 8 hours a day, and my mom will just like storm into my office like, poopy butt! And that actually makes sense because I have IBS, that she calls me that. That checks out, so that's fair. It's either Katie, poopy butt, whatever you're feeling for me. Anyway, she comes into my office one day and she's like, poopy! And I'm like on a call and I'm like, I'm so sorry, sir, I have to go. And I like swirl in my wheelie chair and I was like, yes, what's up? And she's like holding her hand like behind her ear. She was like, I got a new tattoo. And I was like, haha, cool. And then she was like, guess what it is? And jokingly, I said, your initials. And she's like, it is. How did you know that? And I was perplexed. And I was like, Mother, you have your initials 3 other times on your body? And she was like, I don't. Oh my God, I do. And that was the moment that she had realized that she had gotten 4 of the same tattoo of her initials on her body. But you know what? She may like have gotten more. However, her tattoo artist is in jail for murder. So I think that put a pause to it. But shockingly, those are not the worst tattoos that she has. She has some really cool, she has anklets that are mint green, and then wristlets that are navy blue. She is olive toned, so I don't know if you have eyes or just have any general sense of like a color wheel. Those do not go together. So 10 out of 10 don't recommend. She's kind of aware of it though. Like she is aware that it's like not really cute. She does wear like 79 bracelets on either like arm because she's so embarrassed by the tattoos. And you know that's what you want when you go and spend a lot of money on tattoos. You want to be so embarrassed that you have to cover those up. No, that makes sense. I'm gonna leave you with this. So my mom, she does have like actually a really, really sweet tattoo. It's super sentimental. It's absolutely horribly done, but it's so sweet. It's really thoughtful. It's 2 hearts, 1 big heart and 1 little heart behind her ear. And it's supposed to represent her and I. And I just think that's like such a cute way to commemorate our bond and our love and whatnot. She does have 2 other daughters though. So that's tricky. And actually, she couldn't be here today though because she's visiting them. She's spending time with them, which is so great and ideal for me because she has no idea what my comedy is about and that it's all about her. But you want to know something though? Moms are the best.
Did you just say moms are the best?
I absolutely 100% did say moms are the best.
This is crazy. Are you hearing what I'm hearing?
I think I am actually hearing what you're hearing.
It's good, right?
No, I hear it and I want it and I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we share it with them?
Do you triple dog dare us?
Yeah. Do you triple dog dare us?
Oh,
if we're triple dog dared.
We have to.
All right, let's get this out of our heads.
Oh, I got it.
Moms are the best.
Moms are the best.
They really are.
Oh, hey, 2 thumbs way up.
Except for when they're bad.
Well, hey, I don't know about that.
Because being a mom is hard.
Okay, well, that's true. Moms work all day.
Yep.
And then they work some more.
Sure do.
They never get a break. Seems like an odd thing to sign up for.
Right?
Yeah.
But
moms are really great.
Without them, we like literally wouldn't exist.
Yeah. So give them a real big thanks. And that should do it, right?
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 How could we ever thank them for our love? Moms are the best. Maybe someday I'll be one too. But it seems like that's
the scariest thing to do.
Moms are the best. Katie Bissett, everybody! Well, I'm up here. Next up, we have Jared Hall with the Candy Bowl.
Heck yeah. Thank you guys so much. Wow, there's more of you than I thought. When I sat down, it was not this full. Thank you so much. I also planned to do that song with Marissa, but I guess we'll skip it because that'd be weird to do back to back. I want to thank Marissa so much for having me on the show. I want to thank you guys for having children. That's why we're here. Thank you so much. I am not a mother. I am a child of a mother, though, so I'm allowed to talk here. And if you're not a mom, if you're not a mom, feel free to stick around, okay? This story's for everybody, or everyone here. Don't tell anyone outside these walls, okay? This is just between me and my close friends. You guys are my friends now. I don't know if you knew you were signing up for that, but I don't have many, and I am desperate. I want to thank Satchton River for coming out tonight. I assume this is everybody. This is fun. I was shocked you guys are turning people away at the door. I was like, they must have driven to get here. There's no way there's more than this. I'm from Burlington, as we heard a little bit about. The City of Dreams, they call it. Well, I call it that. I've never called it that before. That felt weird to say. But if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. In Vermont, at least. That's got to be true. But I am excited to be here. I'm going to share a short little story with you. And there's two things you should know to follow this story. Firstly, my mother is a baker. She's been baking my whole life. Not professionally. You couldn't sell those in a store. But I enjoyed them. They were good. It was cool. Growing up, we always had just like cakes and sweets all throughout the house. It's kind of like Hansel and Gretel, but without the inherent threat of cannibalism looming over you. So it was like enjoyable. Like it was super nice. And but my mom, it's a hobby for her. It's her only hobby, if you will. She's kind of vanilla that way. Not her cakes. Those are almond. She loves almond, but she is sweet. The cakes are sweet. She's not sweet. Sorry, we've been very pro-mom thus far, and I would just like to say I like her, you know? No, I'm kidding. My mom's the best. She loves me very, very much. The one weird thing I've noticed, though, is whenever she tells me she loves me or that she's proud of me or anything like that, she always says it to my brother, which is it's weird, right? Because I'm right there. Like, it's... The second thing you need to know to follow this story is that I was a fat little kid. Okay. No, it's okay. I'm aware of it. It's cool. You know, I'm all for body positivity, and I am positive that my body was gross. It was okay. No, I was kind of like the character Chunk from the Goonies, if you remember him. He was the heavier set kid, except I was like him, but like without the charisma or the adventures or the friends. So kind of like that type of kid. And believe me, if I had friends, they would have loved coming over. My brother's friends enjoyed the sweets. I watched them from my room alone. And they seem to have a good time. I am a big fan of movies like the Goonies. I grew up watching Home Alone. I'm a 90s kid, so I watched the movie Home Alone a lot. And I know a lot of kids probably watched that growing up being like, man, it would be so cool to have the house all to myself. And I always watched it, and I was like, man, it would be so cool to have an extra-large cheese pizza all to myself. You know, I was a fat little kid. That was like, oh, that's my only thing. So I do mention Home Alone because this story takes place while I was home alone. I was about 10 or 11 years old. I was like just old enough that I could take care of myself, but they were like, you cannot watch your younger brother. You know, don't hurt the good one. You know, we need to cherish him. Cherish him is all I'm saying. And it was only about a half hour. I was like not old enough where I could be home alone all night, but there was like a half hour after school before my mom got home from work where they're like, we trust you enough, you know? And as a prepubescent boy home alone for a half hour, it was insane. I spent my whole time in the kitchen eating sweets. It was so good. And the kitchen's a scary place for me because I am a little scared of technology. Even to this day, I don't understand a lot. Like this stick holds this stick, makes me loud. I don't get it, you know? I don't know what's happening. And the kitchen is a minefield. So much tech. The toaster I get. Okay, you put bread in, makes bread hard, don't get it wet. I get that. Microwaves are weird, right? How does anyone know how a microwave works? If you say yes, you're lying because no one does. Why does it have to spin? I don't get it. And if you look inside, there's metal, but if you put in new metal, that's bad? Okay. New metal, the material, not the although the music's also quite bad. But it's I remember one time, I'll get back to the story. It's called the Candy Bowl. It's coming up. But microwaves, stay with me. Microwaves are weird because I was gonna go eat. It was a hot meal, so I wanted a hot fork. So I popped a fork in the microwave to warm it up. Only 30 seconds. I'm not crazy, you know. I don't want it too hot. And sparks flew. Okay, both in the microwave and my heart, because it was scary and I loved it. It was a thrill. It did catch fire, and that was alarming for me. I didn't know what to do. I started shouting, water, water. My mom was like, hey, spray it, don't say it. So we got that put out, and it was a lot better. Anyway. That was much more recent than this story. I got home from school one day. Oh, if that was before this story, I would not be home alone. They'd be like, oh, we can't trust you, turns out. But no. I got home, And my mom had her baking materials out. She's clearly going to make something later that night. And I saw off to the side, there was a little bowl of red sugar. And it was like very confusing because it was something I'd never seen before. And I was like, it wasn't quite like powdered sugar, it wasn't regular sugar, but it wasn't quite sprinkles. It was that weird in-between size that is just delicious. So I was like, she's not going to notice one quick lip and a lick, dip, suck. Lick, dip, suck it off. It was amazing. So I tried that. And it was a flavor explosion. It's like that scene in Ratatouille where just like all the memories and beautiful things, except it was like fire and flames because it was hot. This was some spicy sugar. It smelled sweet, but tasted hot, but made my mouth cold. It was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. No, I'm serious. It was weird. I highly recommend this. And it's like, I didn't enjoy it. But when you smell something so bad, you like need to show a buddy. You're like, oh my God, but I was alone, so it was just me. So I did it again, and 10 minutes later, the whole bowl is empty, and I'm like, what have I done? Because my mom is not going to be happy about this, because she clearly had a plan for this. It was sitting out. And so I go to hide in my room, and my stomach is going crazy, because I've eaten way too many sweets and then finished it with a bowl of candy or sugar or whatever this was. And sure enough, she comes home, and she comes home with my aunt. Do you say aunt or aunt? Aunt. Okay. Well, she was like, hey, Jared, what happened to all the aunt poison that was in that bowl? To which I asked her the controversial question, what? And she explained, like, yeah, I got this new, more eco-friendly ant poison. You just leave it open, the ants will come, it'll distract them from my baking materials I've left out. And that way we don't have an issue. And I was like, Mom, I think we have an issue. And the good news in hindsight is that I am not an ant. It does make you, it's weird that we call it ant poison where it does harm humans as well. It doesn't kill you, but it doesn't feel great coming out. And I thought it was hot going in, but it's hot all the way through. And I guess my moral, if you will, it's okay. I can make fun of me as a young kid, okay? Because if I don't, who will? A lot of kids, actually. I was a chubby little kid. And the moral is we learned a couple of lessons this day. Don't eat mystery bowls you find laying around. If something hurts your mouth, don't keep doing it. And maybe Jared shouldn't be left home alone. I don't know. That was something that changed for a few months of my life. They were like, all right, well, we got to put a lid on everything. We thought you were old enough, but we didn't. But my mom, she was cool about it. She went through every emotion that day. She was confused, angry, worried, hungry. I don't know. She ate dinner. That might have been unrelated, but it felt good. But I wanna thank you guys for having me again. And don't eat poison. That's the moral. Happy Mother's Day.
Oh my gosh, give it up again for Jared! So funny. Okay. For this next part, we are going to do an improv scene for you. So every one of the comedians who wants to come join the back line, come on up now. Let's give them a round of applause. Now, as they come up, I'll explain a little bit about how this will work. First of all, we have never, ever done this before, not with any of us together. And what we are going to do is create a few scenes for you completely from scratch. And we're going to invite one mom who promises to be herself no matter what. Throughout every scene we bring her way, she must respond as herself. Is there a brave mom out there who promises to be honest no matter what? Oh, you're all liars. Interesting. All right, so someone's coming, I see it. Yes, come on up. Woo-hoo! Yes. What is your name? Sheila. Everyone for Sheila. enjoying herself on stage here. And we will come out and create scenes where Sheila is just responding as Sheila in every single thing we do. And we can't wait to get to know you, Sheila.
Great.
Making sure we have someone on the lights in the back. Gage, if you're around, if you could head to the light switch. All right, may I get an object from someone's purse? You can just shout it out. Lipstick. Lipstick! All right. I think it's time for me to apply mine, actually. All right, we will get started. I know you're feeling really proud about the lipstick display that I put out there today.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we're very proud here at H&M. It looks just stunning. I think you're gonna fit here.
Thank you. It looks like we have someone ready to try on the lipstick.
Oh, we have our first customer.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Love too.
Yeah. Well, we have a couple shades, and I think I know a shade that might be good for you. Morning Primrose.
Morning Primrose. Yes, give this a try. And what's your name?
Sheila.
Sheila. Give this a try,
Oh my gosh,
Sheila.
that's my mom's name too.
Wow. Wow. What do you think of the shade?
Oh yeah, here's the mirror.
It's perfect. I think you picked out a perfect color for me.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, you know, and that never happens. The first one is never the perfect
This is
one.
our first time.
Wow.
So
You know
far,
what?
no one has liked any of our lipstick shades.
Sometimes the first one fits.
What do you think?
Green. That's a bold color.
Isn't it great?
You know, Morning
Yeah.
Primrose, with a name like Morning Primrose, I didn't think that they were talking about the stem part.
Yes.
Looks great on you.
Green is my favorite color.
Yeah, I can see why. You're probably gonna want more, like a lifetime supply. Let me go check and see if we have more in the back. Yeah.
Oh, hey, would you happen to know if there are any books by Benjamin Franklin here?
Check the history section.
Oh, do you work here? At the
No,
library?
I come here frequently.
You come here frequently?
Yes.
Well, fantastic. So I'm going to check the history section.
That's where I would.
Thank you.
Sorry, I couldn't help it here. I do work here. Sheila, we've told you gotta stop telling people where to shop, okay?
Trying to be helpful.
I know you're trying to be helpful, but we don't pay you, so it's weird. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
To be fair, she was right. It's the history section. That's the worst part. She's always right. She is here a lot. Like when I come into open, she's been camping out. It's weird.
interesting. Why are you camping out here, Sheila?
I've been asking that for months. What is it, Sheila?
Because I just can't stand to be away from books.
Oh, that makes sense.
She wants to get lit.
Well, if you want a job, you have to apply. You can't just keep hanging out here all the time, okay? This isn't it is a library, but it's... I'm sorry. Mom, I want to do well here. It's like you're always stepping on my toes.
Great.
Thank you.
Doing
It's just...
great. I'm so proud.
Thank you. I'm gonna
Really proud of you. Tell your brother.
Everyone. Shh. I am trying to read a graphic novel in the back.
So now that I'm in the studio, I'm so wondering where the model's at. Yes, okay. Oh, there you are. Thank you so much for being here. You ready for the photo shoot or what?
Parachute?
We
May I? Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
That's the look.
No, do you mind if I? Is it?
Oh,
More
that
than
is perfect.
Okay.
What's happening with this lighting? This is not going to work for me.
Oh no! Do you want more natural lighting? Should we open the blinds?
Oh,
Is
most definitely. Yeah.
and, you know, is this
I can't work with this kind of space. I'm getting out of here.
I'm sorry.
What about my photo shoot?
Oh, it's he's an artist. He does this all the time. You know, he's very particular about his space. But I've got a camera, and we can make something happen. What have you got? You've got
I've got the lighting
the
thing.
light diffusers. Oh my gosh! Look at that. Well, Sheila, you are a model in the making. Here we go.
Yes.
Now, okay.
See this.
Here we go.
Strike your favorite pose.
Like,
Yeah, that's right. The audience we brought to the photo shoot loves it.
Yeah. Now give me something like you're like a tiger, and okay. Now like you just got your first catch. Like you just got it, you're enjoying it.
And it's huge.
It's huge. Okay.
Whoa!
Okay.
Wow! Taking a bite right out of it.
Sheila, what are you doing here? I'm so sorry. She got out. Come on. I'm having so much fun. Time for your medication.
We're so glad she's such an animal. She's perfect for our zoo shoot. This is fantastic. Well, now that you're here, would you like to sign a contract? Right?
The contract?
Here we go.
Can I read it first?
Yes.
Yeah.
Read it over, Sheila, and tell us what you think about it.
Okay, yeah.
This is the modeling contract.
Sheila, wait. I saw you at H&M that day when you were trying on the lipsticks. I've been at the mall for years waiting to find someone like you. Think before you sign. You'll need to be an animal forever. Just be yourself. What do you say?
Sheila looks over the contract. She decides, and she wonders, she's like, what am I looking to do? What am I looking to do? Do I want a new career? Am I done with gardening? Am I done with the flowers? Oh, the past. She thinks it over. Oh my gosh. And she finally decides. Yes or no?
No.
No.
All right, Sheila! Give a big round of applause to Sheila! All right, thank you, everyone. We are going to take a very brief intermission. If you do not need to use the bathroom, stay up here. We're only taking about a 5-minute intermission, and then we'll dive right back in again. Thank you all so much. Thank you. All right. Thank you all so much. I am so excited that up next we have Holly Bonson. Welcome, Holly, up, everyone. Yep.
So we're not, okay.
Let's get her a microphone, huh? Yeah! You can just shout at everyone. Holly!
Hi, everybody. First things first, got to get the full wingspan. So I'm excited to wish my mom a happy Mother's Day tomorrow. Has anyone here, during the pandemic, did anyone here have to move back in with their parents, or are there any mothers here who had their children move back in with them during the pandemic? A few of you here and there. How do we feel about that? Really? Aw, that's so sweet. From the child's perspective of the child adult human that had to move back in with their parents, the sense that I get from it is shame or embarrassment, maybe like it's a big bummer, and that's always confused me because I've noticed anecdotally that the people that seem the saltiest about it have beautiful houses and mentally stable parents. What's that like? Asking for a friend. I didn't have to move back in with my parents, and I couldn't have moved back in with my parents, and thankfully I didn't have to. But I would have gladly moved back in with your parents. I grew up in a hoarder house, and it's woo for very messy houses, yay! It's a real clinical disorder, hoarding disorder, but there are levels to it. So there are some people that are living in truly dangerous conditions, and luckily my parents are not at that level yet. You know, like some hoarder houses, you know, you lift up a stack of newspapers from 2003, and underneath will be a fossilized cat. You would never find that at my house. My parents hate cats, so we're dog people. No, my parents, it's totally different dynamic. For one, the newspapers are from 2004, okay? And underneath will be this month's gas bill. Whenever people learn this about me, they ask me if I have ever seen the show Hoarders and if it was like the show Hoarders. Has anyone seen that show? It's a wildly popular show. I've never seen it. There was too much stuff blocking the television screen. I couldn't see it. Actually, I just haven't seen it because we didn't have cable. But if there was anything that you could see, like that had an unobstructed view in my house, it was the television. Be real. So the story that I want to tell, and forgive me for reading off my phone from this, is it takes place in September of 2001. And as you might all recall, that's a remarkable time in our nation's history because that is when I celebrated my 12th birthday. I wanted more than anything a party. I had never had a birthday party before because when you grow up in a hoarder house, the only people that come over are the scary men from the bank that tell you that they're going to take your house away. Those were the only people that ever came inside. But I invited popular girls to this party, so my mom and I spent the 3 days leading up to it cleaning everything nonstop. So we were throwing boxes of stuff into other boxes of stuff, shoving them in a closet, throwing a tablecloth on top of other piles of boxes to make it look like boho chic. And then pretending that we just lived like that, like it was theater. There was no hiding everything, and my house and my family in general looked tragically different from all the other girls' houses and families. So, but we got it to an acceptable level, you know, like as best as it could be. And I forgot to mention that my house is in the middle of nowhere. So I grew up in rural Vermont, and didn't get a woo. Okay, fine. Theo got a woo. No one here is a fan of Vermont. But I lived like a half an hour away from all of my friends. So when they all showed up to my party, they all carpooled. So they all showed up at the same time. And and when they did, they immediately all walked into my house. And one girl, Megan, she points to the floor and she yells, "Ew! Bugs!" I am confused and in shock. And I look at where Megan was pointing, and I immediately recognize what I'm looking at on the ground. And do you all know what I found? Lavender. Now, where did this lavender come from? Well, funny you should ask. My mom is obsessed with lavender. Obsessed with lavender. Every candle, every cleaning product, everything in our house that has a fragrance, that fragrance is lavender. She buys it in bulk, dry lavender buds, and she makes little like eye pillows and whatever. Makes tea out of it. She bakes with it. She loves lavender. And like this is one of the quirky things about my mom, is her love for lavender. And you might be thinking, why was the lavender on the floor? Apparently, without consulting the birthday girl, my mom sprinkled lavender onto the floor, and we had this wall-to-wall, like, disgusting carpet, stained, gross, gray in color, and lavender buds, dried lavender buds, look like little bugs. So I could see where Megan was coming from. I think the idea is to sprinkle it on the floor and then vacuum it up, and the agitation from the suction of the vacuum kind of makes it like smell like lavender. So I'm thinking in my mind, my mom would just be like, "Oh, just like I'll freshen up the place with a little lavender." And but this was before Pinterest had been invented, so she just skipped that second step where you vacuum it up afterwards. Betrayal. I had never experienced that feeling before, and that's what I was feeling in the moment. And humiliation. I knew that feeling well by then. I ran outside to clear the air. All the girls ran up screaming. They're screaming, yelling. Everyone thinks that the weird, dirty girl with the weird, dirty house now has bugs all over her floor. And I'm running after them, yelling, "It's lavender!" As if a bunch of 12-year-olds would understand that. And so, like I said, this is in the fall. My birthday's in the fall. And so there's leaves on the ground, and they're running around, expelling their energy, and I'm relieved. I'm thinking, maybe they forgot. And they didn't. But they didn't fully understand the lavender thing. But they're running around, and I'm just like manifesting and believing, trying to believe in myself that they forgot. They forgot about it. They're jumping into leaves. There's piles of leaves everywhere. My parents are avid gardeners, so we have, in rural Vermont, so we had piles of leaves everywhere. They're running around, they're jumping in leaves. I'm like thrilled. This is my birthday. We're actually having a party. And then one of them gets up and points to the biggest leaf pile, and she goes, "I want to jump in that one." And they all get up and they're running to the biggest pile. And I know in my little baby brain that big leaf pile is a pile of manure. And yes, indeed, they all, slow motion in my brain, they all get up and they run, and every single one of those popular girls that I invited to this party jumps in a big pile of poo. So for 2 decades since, I have hated lavender. but now, I love my quirky mom. Everyone's got their little weirdsies, and I really love her quirks now, and I've gotten over it. So I wanted to get this done before the show tonight, but I am getting a tattoo of lavender on my arm to honor her and that story. Thanks so much. Happy Mother's Day.
Thanks, Katie. Lavender. Next, we have Mike and Eric Jackman doing the Jackman Brothers. Woo!
Anyone ever wonder what the Unabomber sent his mom for Mother's Day? Ooh. Hey, Mom, did you get my card? Happy Mother's Day. Hope it was a blast. That's dark. That's pretty dark. Or, how about Jeffrey Dahmer making plans with his mom for Mother's Day? Mom calls him up. Jeffrey, how you doing? It's cold in Milwaukee these days. I'm good. Doing well. So what do you want to do, son? Jeffrey says, I don't know, you want to grab a bite? All right, one more of those. we didn't. Come on, it's been a little too late today. We got to go a little dark. You got to go a little dark. Unabombers is trending right now. Great series on Netflix.
Yeah, he's got a Netflix. Yeah, he's got a new movie and a Netflix special. So good for him.
Yeah. And what is Mother's Day like for Jeffrey Epstein and his mom? Hey, Mom, you want to take a trip? Sure, I'll gas up the jet.
We're just going to be hanging around.
Yeah, hang
around for Mother's Day.
Let's hang out.
But
all right, no more Unabombers. Sorry.
So I told my mom, I was like, Mom, we're doing a comedy show on Mother's Day weekend, and it's going to be a tribute to you, a Mother's Day tribute. She's like, I won't be there. She's 4 hours in the opposite direction right now. And but no, my mom's got a great sense of humor, as you can see by this. Judging by this, and I guess we were both part of a twin birth. So we had another comic here who gave birth to twins.
Well done, Ann. You look amazing, by the way, after doing that. That's
I mean, I don't remember my birth, but I know my mom does. And she's like, give me all the drugs. When my dad found out that there were going to be twins, he's like, oh, okay, yikes. But my mom's originally from Boston. She's got a Boston accent, so that's a good thing. Yeah, let's hear it for the Boston accent. Oh, yeah, in the back, look at that. That's a good thing that she didn't give to us, was thankfully the Boston accent. She's from a place in Boston called Somerville. You ever heard of Somerville? We pronounce it Somerville, the way it's actually pronounced. But
normal people.
I think Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and all those knuckleheads owe my mom millions of dollars in royalties from all those frickin' movies with the Boston accent. You know, it's like, I'll see you this side or the other. They should bring my mom in to consult, and tell them how it's really done. Pack the car, okay? I don't pronounce my as, okay? It's like an A-H-S, eh.
And if you cast in someone named Trisha, it's Trisher. They add that R in on the words where there's not an R. The R doesn't belong there, but she added it to everything.
Right, so if there is an R, it becomes an A-H-S, and if there isn't one, it's added. It's very interesting. Our dad was from Canada, so he had a Canadian accent. And when I'm on the phone talking to customers, that's the question I get. Are you Canadian? So it balances out the Boston chowder.
Yeah, it's a good balance, I think.
But our mom's the kind of gal, when she goes to a restaurant and she's not really feeling it, she's kind of not liking it, she's nice about it, I'm like, Mom, what'd you think about the food in the restaurant today? She's like, well, the service wasn't that great. The food was kind of cold and rubbery. I wouldn't go back there. And I go, so it was dog food? She's like, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't go running back there. Almost like a soft-spoken Kennedy, kind of nice. Just, not one that killed anyone in a crash. Just a nice Kennedy, kind of a nicer one.
And then put the neck brace on.
Yeah, right, and parade around with the neck brace.
I went back for the beer. Mary Jo Kopechne. I swam really hard against the current, vote for me. And they did. They voted him back in after that, if you remember.
It's amazing.
They did. It was incredible.
And then, imagine Mother's Day or around the period of Mother's Day in Queens, New York, in like the late 40s when Donald Trump was coming up in the world. And his mom was at the grocery store running into one of her friends there, one of her fellow ghouls. And say, yeah, Jimmy's good. How's Donald doing? He must be coming up in age. He must be 6 or 7 years old by now. And Donald's mother could say, we're very proud of Donald. He's doing well. He's already sued 2 of his siblings, and he's already beat up 5 kids in the playground. And, Trump, I don't know, he got fond memories of his mother. Look, my mother was a beautiful woman, okay? Excuse me. My mother was one of the most amazing women in the world. She was tough, she was strong. She managed money very well, a lot better than I do. And if I can remember correctly, I think she held me twice. She did, she held me twice. 2 times, 1 for each term that I'm gonna get in the White House, okay? Believe me. It's true. It's true.
Donald Trump.
So true.
Excuse me, Donald, how about a certain senator from Vermont named Bernie Sanders? Who's a Bernie fan here? Can we feel the Bernie?
Okay, Bernie. Everyone loves you here in Vermont.
I think you've said enough, okay? Everyone's tired of your damn emails, too, by the way.
Okay.
Everyone's sick of hearing about his damn emails and his fake baked tan.
Right. Wrong.
We're up here in Vermont. Me and Donald are partnering on something. We're going to build a wall between Vermont and New Hampshire.
We are, and you know what? This is something we wanted to announce here in Saxton River. Saxton's River is an amazing river. It's a beautiful place. I'm thinking about buying it. I might buy Saxton's River. But Bernie and I are teaming up, and construction's going to be starting very soon, so soon, very soon, so soonly, on a beautiful wall along the eastern border to keep all the Granite State riffraff out of the Green Mountain State, okay? And excuse me. And we're going to build the wall to keep all that riffraff. We don't know where they're coming from. They could be coming from Keene. They could be coming from Surrey. They could be coming from Chesterfield, Spofford, Walpole. We don't know where the hell they're coming from. And the way we're going to keep those Granite Staters out, we're going to build a wall out of soap. They won't go near it. Believe me, they won't go near it. So true.
Very good, Donald, very good.
True.
I propose for Mother's Day, every single mother gets 9% of 10% of all the Ben & Jerry's in the state. I think we can agree on that.
Okay.
Ben & Jerry's for everybody.
That's fair.
For every single mother that's lactating, we got 2%, we got skim.
Okay.
It's all going to be good for the kids.
2%
They love their
and
mothers.
1%. 2% and 1%. That's Bernie's tax plan. It's unbelievable. If you can believe it, it's a disaster.
So when I told my mom that we were going to be doing a Mother's Day comedy show, she immediately had an idea. She's like, oh, you're going to tell the story about the time I busted you with the National Geographic magazines. I was like, no, I'm not telling that story. I'm not going to tell that story.
It's got to be similar to getting contraband into South Korea from North Korea, going through the DMZ.
Right.
Leaving the country where my friend Rocket Man lives. He's a great guy. He's a good friend of mine, okay? Largely misunderstood.
Yeah, our mom really humored a lot of Trump impressions to get to this.
Yeah.
She really put up, we tortured her.
Yeah.
Our house was the original war on terror, before 9/11 joke was great, by the way.
But the original 9/11.
But we got into Trump back in 2006, if you can believe that, when he had his feud with Rosie O'Donnell. Do you guys remember that? Rosie did an awesome impression of Trump on The View where she parted her hair. And she's like, he's going to come back in my beauty pageant. I'm going to give the girls a second chance. I think Rosie did one of the best Trump impressions.
Yeah, Rosie was good. And she really got under Trump's skin.
She did. Definitely inspired us.
Rosie, yeah, I know. I look like Rosie O'Donnell.
As you can tell, I'm more of a sit-down comic. The stand-up is, I'm getting used to it, but...
Well, he's got to deal with the new ABBA Avatar reunion over there, so...
Let's hear it for ABBA.
ABBA's coming back.
New World ABBA.
Every pound that Mike loses, ABBA will write a new song, so that's going to be good.
We got a ways to go. But yeah, Eric, tell them about how the nucleus of Trump came, how you started impersonating Donald Trump.
So yeah, going back to the feud with Rosie O'Donnell, Trump had Entertainment Tonight come to his Trump Tower, to his office, and he just did like a 3-minute takedown video of her where it started. It was like, Well, Rosie O'Donnell's disgusting. I mean, you look at her, she's a slob. She talks like a truck driver. Rosie got mad at me and attacked me because I had to congratulate her on the failure of her magazine. Her magazine called Rosie, which was a total disaster, and everybody was suing her as a result. So once I saw Donald Trump do that, I'm like, wow, this guy is amazing. He's a psycho. He's a 60-year-old man, billionaire, purportedly. Rosie tried to say I went bankrupt. I never went bankrupt, okay? As an example, I'm worth many billions of dollars, okay? So we got the impression going, and this was around the holidays of our freshman year?
06, yeah, freshman year of college.
So I would just come around the corner, hey, Mom, what's for dinner? What's going on? I don't know, I might make a meatloaf. So what are you up to? And I'd just be like, Rosie O'Donnell's disgusting. And it would just start there, and then throughout all of dinner, I would just talk like Trump for the rest of the dinner.
You guys got to stop with the frickin' Trump.
And I would say, Mom...
Enough with the Trump!
I would say, Mom, I think, quite frankly, this meatloaf is a disaster, okay? This is... Excuse me. This is the worst meatloaf I've ever had, okay? In the history of meatloaf. So try again tomorrow, maybe, okay?
And then we'd be in the car on the way to a family gathering, and we'd just be like, Mom, what's Rosie? She's disgusting. Now stop! But anyways, I dedicate the set to my lovely mother and to my friend's mother, Wendy Warner, who sadly passed away. We love you, Wendy. And for all the mothers out there, we love you and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Give it up one more time for the Jackmans and their impersonations. I mean, for Bernie and Trump, really. Who do we, well, big get. All right, next we would like to welcome to the stage Tim Stone.
All right. How's everybody doing tonight? Huh? God damn. So, I'm really new at this, guys. This is probably my 4th, 5th time doing it. There's a lot of good talent here tonight. It's been great to watch. I do a lot of stuff down in Massachusetts, down in the dive bars. I've been trying to figure out this whole comedy thing. So this is pretty much like doing it with the lights on for the first time because I can actually see your faces. So got that going for me, which is pretty sweet. I actually just came here from a funeral. I'm going to be honest with you. So everything I practiced in the shower is frickin' gone. It's gone. So I'm trying to piece it back together right now. Anyway, so just spent some my mom, and my mom's an old school mom. She married a drill sergeant. And my dad's an actual drill sergeant, punched people in the face for trying to get the same job he had. So it's what he did for a living. And Mom was an English teacher, so essentially that makes me a well-spoken jerk. So I feel like I can fit in here. I just got to piece it all together. Yeah. Aaron and Marissa, great job tonight, guys. Great, everything, really, the improv, everything. They asked me a while ago to get into the show, and I was flattered. I'm honored. I can't, the people I'm up here with, the talent, it's absolutely spectacular, right? They said, yeah, we're going to be doing a Mom's Day show. We'd like you to tell a couple stories about your lovely mother. Write some stuff down. We got 15, 20, and all the time you need. So I sent it all down and wrote it all down, sent it to Aaron and Marissa, and they said, yeah, we're going to have you do 3 minutes. You might want to take that other 10 to go hug your mom a couple times because that stuff's for the Halloween show. So maybe I'll make it back. I'll tell you guys that story. 100% true. You can Google it, but we'll have to leave it for next time. So with that being said, old school mom, she did her best to raise me. Single mother more or less because the dad was a drill sergeant. Took me to church every Sunday. Was an altar boy for 4 or 5 years. She tried her best to get this out of me, but she really just couldn't, I was actually an altar boy and never even got a second look. You know what that does to a guy's confidence? Didn't even. Anyway. This is why they kept me short, people. I told Mom, I said, Mom, I'm going to be doing a little comedy about you. And she didn't really, but she just, make sure you wear your bugles. Nobody wants to see you up there with your pants down. They don't like to see your ass cracked. That's not funny. Pull them up, you know? That's all she was really concerned about. So, got some new shoes, a new shirt, haircut, Saxon's River. What's up, huh? How many people do that for Saxon's River? You are welcome. Yeah? Mom's not even here, so if she asks, you better back me up, all right? Even got a belt on, Mom. Spent a lot of time in the car with Mom, you know, driving around, 89 Camry, light blue, velvet seats. She loved to expose her children to music. Show tunes, 50s, 60s, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, Barry Manilow, all of the classics, right? I know them all. Crush karaoke. I crush it. Seriously. But she crossed over into my music when I started getting about 12, 13 years old. I'm a little bit older, and this was about the time when, I don't know, are any of you guys familiar with Boyz II Men? Oh, fuck yeah. She kind of ruined it, though. We'll get there. Remember that song, I'll Make Love to You? My mom had that perfect church voice, you know? She'd hit them. And that song, she was infatuated with that song. We grew up in St. Louis, right? Something about your mom singing I'll Make Love to You in a church voice might be responsible for my late blooming. And that part, you throw your clothes on the floor. Dude, I swear to God. And she put her armpits around the air conditioning in the Camry, and so the air, and she just coast that boat down I-70. Just coast it, just hitting all them high notes, carrying them on out, you know? I love my mom. Love her. So, all right. Well, I didn't write anything down. I'm sure I forgot something, but either way, before I get off, I'd like to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. That doesn't just include mothers either in my mind. All women have like a mothering, nurturing. We all depend on it as guys, especially me. I tend to be a little stupid. So even if you're not a mom, give yourself a round of applause because it's you as women as a whole that brings us together. And you're going to become moms, so don't exclude yourself out of that either. Now, I don't really have much for a closer. But I was just talking to drunk Uncle Mike at the funeral. I said, Mike, I'm going to do comedy. And he said, great. I said, are you nervous? I said, no, I don't really have a closer. He says, I gotcha. You guys ready for Uncle Mike's closer? All right. What's the difference between a peeping Tom and a pickpocket? One likes to snatch watches. Peace. I'm out of here, guys.
Next, we have the lovely, effervescent, amazing Leanne Hobart. Woo, Leanne!
Okay, all right. How's it going? How you guys doing? Everybody good? Having a good day? All right, we're going to get right into this. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I wrote some things down on this reserved, on this thing. So, yeah. Do we have any young moms? Were you young when you had your kids? Young. Not a single one of you. Not a single. 22, that's young. 22, anybody got her beat? 18, hell yes. I'm the one that's going to curse a little, sorry. 18. I was 15. 15. What a wild ride. It was something. Being a pregnant teenager is an interesting combination. I really developed a binge eating problem from being a pregnant teenager. You've got all just all the things available to you that the teenagers have at high school, all the terrible food, the corner store with all the candy, all those things. And I had no idea I was pregnant. I didn't have a clue. I didn't know what sex really was. I didn't know what happened after that. I was very sheltered. My parents were born-again Christians, and that's fun. Born-again Christians, which is why I got pregnant. And, yeah. Yes, thanks. Anybody else raised by born-again Christians? Yeah. The energy in that yes tells you everything. Yeah. Yeah, because the people they are before they're born-again Christians is why you're fucked up. I don't remember if we're allowed to curse or not. Sorry. She could just never hire me again. So I had no idea what was going on. I really didn't. I had an experience with my boyfriend that I thought was pretty jazzy. It was a good time. I had no idea what followed after that. My parents didn't tell me anything. So I was just eating a lot, like 20-piece chicken nuggets and all the good things. And I just kept wearing bigger and bigger hoodies. And I was like, well, whatever, I don't care. And eventually I got to a point where I was hitting that morning sickness stage of pregnancy. And I, with my born-again Christian father, went golfing after church. That's what we did together. That was our thing we did together, golfing after church. Anybody golf with their dad after church? That's why you guys are sitting and I'm standing up here making a fool of myself. So we went golfing, and we lived in California, and there's a lot of great Mexican food in California. So we stopped at our favorite Mexican food place. I got my favorite burrito and chili verde burrito, and I ate the whole thing in about under a minute. And then I just looked at my dad and went, bleh! Everywhere. And he looked at me like, oh, shit. And then didn't say anything about it, just like went pale and clammy in the face. Like he'd been in denial for the past 5 or 6 months. And, so then I go to breakfast with my mom after Bible study. And I get biscuits and gravy. And I get like a double biscuits and gravy. So I've got 4 biscuits and a pile of gravy. And I eat it all in about under a minute. And I look at my mom across the table and I just go, bleh! And then she gave me that look. And then they're like, we're going to the doctor. And I'm like, why? Do I have an eating disorder? Is something wrong with me? And they gave me a pregnancy test, and then they explained the birds and the bees to me at the doctor's office, 5 months pregnant. Yeah, that was fun. That was pretty good. And if you are a rebel and you don't want to do what your parents say, that works out well most of the time until they're like, well, abortion is an option. And I'm like, who are you? I'm not having you think abortion's okay? I'm not going to have an abortion then. I'm just not going to. And I didn't. And I had my first kid when I was 15. It was pretty great, actually. It wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad because I was so stupid that I had no idea what was going on the entire time. I get to the hospital. I'm going into labor, and I'm just like, I think I have to poop. And they're like, no, honey, a baby is going to come out of your body. And I'm like, oh, now? Why do I feel like I have to poop? So, kid comes out, everything's great. I really like him, he's pretty cool. And we get along great. We kind of like have each other, like we're buddies now. Like I've got this little doll that's alive. It's like this living little doll. But I had this complex because I didn't want to be just another teen mom, because this was a thing back in the 90s. I don't know if you guys remember this. Late 90s, early 2000s, this was a thing. Teen moms was like I don't know, it was going around. It was like COVID. But instead of masks, it was condoms, and we didn't use those either. And so I wound up, just trying to make this work with this kid. And I wanted to really defy all those stereotypes. So I finished high school. I worked a full-time job. But in order to do that, I had to have childcare. And I had to go to a special school for special girls. Yeah, well, yeah, it was pretty bad. But I had to also pretend to be a migrant farm worker. This is not a joke. And I feel really bad for Elizabeth Warren, like all that stuff she went through, because I can never be a politician now, because I really did pretend to be a migrant farm worker. I really did. And I had to go to the meetings for all the migrant farm workers. They had a translator for me. This is real. That's how I was able to finish high school. I got a grant from the Migrant Farm Workers Fund. That's how I was able to finish high school. Yep, yeah. And no, it's real. And anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up. We're getting there. So anyway, I'm a migrant farm worker. I have a full-time job at the record store. I have a little tiny crack house with my little kid. We're doing good. I was sober. I was finishing school. I was doing things right. And it's just me and this little kid, this great little kid. And then I had another one when I was 18. Things were going so great, and I was killing it. So I was like, I'm just going to do it again. So I had another one when I was 18. And we were like this little cult, like the three of us. We were just this little cult. And we played some pretty awesome games. One of my favorite games that I played with my kids was the game called Puppy for Sale. And this game, Puppy for Sale, my oldest son, he was the one that always picked the game. We would make little puppy dog ears and put it on my youngest son, and put him in a box. And we would write Puppy for Sale and put him out on the porch. But I was like 12. I mean, what are you gonna do? We all had fun. It was a lot of fun for everybody. And one day, the puppy almost got taken home by a good family. I'm going to end it with that. Thank you guys so much.
More time for Leanne and not another teen mom. Woo! Up next, we have the amazingly, incredibly talented Marlon Fisher. Marlon!
She had me when she was 16. I've been doing stand-up and storytelling for the last 9 years, I believe, something along those lines. My mom has never been to one of my shows. So right now, we are going to call her in live. We're going to call her in live. I'm going to put her on video so she can see me perform, and I'm going to make her part of the audience. I'm also going to try to screen record this so I can, because I normally like to record myself, so I know how to do this right. So let's see if she answers. Hello, Mom?
Hello.
Okay, good. You're live. You're here. Okay, I'm going to put you down. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Everyone else can hear you too. Can you also put yourself on mute? Can you see me? Perfect. Mute yourself. Don't say anything. So like I said, my mom was a teen mom, and I also invited her here because there was only one other black person, so I needed to make sure that I felt safe, okay? So I got you. That's what I'm talking about. I just feel safe. So welcome, Mom. Again, you've never been to one of my shows. I've never, you've seen all the stuff, but now you get to see me live and in color. And so I want to just share some stuff with you. I remember when I was a little baby, and I would sleep with your bras. I remember the feeling of your bra being nice and smooth. I remember that as a young child. I remember when you brought home my little brother, and I remember saying to you, Mommy, what is that? And you said, that is your little baby brother. Like, I literally remember those words. I remember you keeping us safe. I remember you
moving us into Harlem, and I remember you dating a guy by the name of Mookie, who was a lot younger than it seemed like a lot younger than you, but I guess he was your age. I remember selling crack out of our apartment. I remember you having horrible boyfriends. I remember you still keeping us safe with all those boyfriends. I remember you sacrificing a lot. I remember the time when I was in second grade and shit my pants in school, and I walked home with shitty pants, and you still comforted me. I remember receiving a scholarship to college in the first grade, and you congratulating, and I remember you saying, "You're going to college." I remember the time when we got the New York Daily News and they had those scratch-off tickets, and I thought we had won $10,000, and we jumped around the house, and we were like, "We got $10,000," and you scratched off the rest of the ticket, and we did not win $10,000. I remember you moving us. I remember the time when you would fight for us, and our neighbors, the people in our block on 130th Street called you Shredder. I remember the time taking the train to Grandma's house and you having your chain snatched off your neck, but still kept us safe. I remember you teaching me how to cook. I remember you teaching me how to cook eggs specifically, and now I'm fucking really good at cooking eggs. I'm sorry for cursing for the young kids, but you probably heard these words before. I remember us getting into fights. I remember you kicking me out of the house and sending me to live with my grandmother for so many months. I remember the first time I talked to you about sex. I remember the time when I graduated from high school and you came to my high school graduation. I remember that you giving me the power and independence. I remember when you allowed me to be independent and become the creative man I am today. Oh man, this was not supposed to be so serious, you guys, but I'm just gonna keep going, okay? All right. The reason why I feel like this is important for you all to know is because you all, the moms in this room, even the dads, don't get to hear this from your kids all the time. And I think it's really important for you all to understand the little things that you've done in your child's lives, how impactful they are, no matter what you think. Okay, so Mom, I remember the time when you. I remember the time when we had to leave the house due to an abusive boyfriend, and we had to leave everything behind. I remember the time you had to relocate to Rochester, New York. I remember the time when we had a falling out and we didn't talk for years. I remember the time when you, when we did talk, you would still talk proudly of me and the things that I had accomplished. I know because of you, I am who I am today. I am the greatest dad in the world because of everything you've done as a single young teen mom. And I want you to know that I appreciate you, okay? And this is why. Today, I have 2 young boys. They're 5 and 4. And I would do anything for them and anything for them, everything. And the only reason why I do this is because of who this woman is that's sitting in front of me on the fucking phone. So here you go, Mom. So because of you, I continually be motivated to be the best dad that I can be. And the way I do that is by giving my kids constant love and making them feel safe. Because of you, I am creative. Because of you, I'm able to stand in front of a bunch of white people and and still feel confident. Because of you, right, I control this room. Look at this. I'm the only black man in this room, and I have a bunch of white people staring at me. That feels so good, okay? Because of you. Because of you, I am strong. And because of you, I am allowed to pass it on to my boys, your grandchildren, who will be strong. So I thank you for every sacrifice that you've ever made in your life to make sure that I can stand here and tell you this because I love you And no matter what happens, I will always love you. Just don't ask me for money. So to all the moms and dads out there, because it takes, you can do it by yourself, you can do it together, but I just want you all to know that no matter what, every little thing that you do for your child, they will remember. And I don't get an opportunity to tell this to you all the time, but I want you to know that's the impact that you've had on me. So continue to be the best you can be, given the tools that you have. Continue to do that. It's very important. I think that's it. Was that funny enough, or should I put a joke in there? Can I tell one joke? All right. I'm going to tell you why I moved to Vermont. So I was a combat veteran, so I served in the U.S. Army. I was stationed overseas, and I was moving back to Brooklyn to go live in the projects with my mom. But I was like, I can't live in the projects no more. There's too many roaches there. I'm sorry, Mom. You don't live in the projects. But anyway. So my friend was like, move to Vermont. So I did a lot of research. There's grass-fed everything. There's farms, people from farms and live in the middle of nowhere with dung, like cow, manure everywhere. But the real reason why I moved to Vermont is because I love white women. Thank you.
One more time. Woo, for Marlon and his mom. Technology bringing us all together. All right, so we will have our last comedian of the evening, and then we will do our raffle for you incredible moms as a little thank you for being just incredible and being so crafty you can make people. So without further ado, our beautiful, amazing, and talented Tony and her daughter. First debut of comedy? Her first?
Yes.
Yes! Witnessing history in the making. Adelia and Tony!
When I first told my daughter that we were going to reenact her birth for Mother's Day, she was like, can't we just go to brunch like regular family? No. Okay, so it's Friday, about 3 a.m., very early in the morning. I wake up and I feel, ooh, it's a pang. It's a pang of labor. And I say to myself, this is it. This is the day. I'm going to have my baby today. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to prepare myself for birth, yeah? So I go downstairs and I'm feeling a little bit of pain. But it's manageable, probably because I'm better than everyone. So I was like, I'm just gonna have one of those painless, orgasmic births, and it's gonna be fine. So I'm laboring, and around 7 a.m., I'm like, I think I'm gonna go tell my husband it's time to have a baby. So I go upstairs and I wake him up, and I say to my husband, hey, it's time to have a baby. And he says to me, cool. So we head to the hospital, and I go to the hospital, and I'm like, ooh, I feel it, but it's fine, because I'm really quite superior. So I get to the hospital, and I go to the doctor, and I say to the doctor, hey, doctor, I think I'm ready to have my baby today. And then the doctor says to me,
no, you're not ready.
and I'm like, I know my body. I'm ready to have my baby today. I am going to have the baby. And then the doctor says,
Yeah, you're not.
so I'm like, okay, well, why don't you check me out or something, doctor? Let's make sure I'm not ready to have my baby already. So then the doctor,
Fine. Oh, fruit snacks.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay.
Oh, you should clean those out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's fine. So can I get in the birthing room? Can I have this baby already?
You're fine. Have a sticker.
Cool. So the doctor sent me away, and I was like, that's fine. That's fine. I'm fine with that. And I didn't want to go home because I knew I was going to have my baby that day. So I did what any normal, reasonable woman would do. I went to the public park. So I go to the park, and I'm just like, I'm just laboring, and I'm just being really normal. And I'm like, ugh. And then this hiker starts walking by. And the hiker says to me,
Are you in, labor?
yeah, don't I seem really peaceful? And the hiker says,
Yeah, you do.
probably because I'm better than you. So I'm just having the best time in labor, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, ow, all right, that hurt. And then I'm like, oh, okay, ow, that one really hurt. Okay, that's hurting. And then my husband comes over to me, and he says to me,
Babe, your contraptions are 30 seconds apart. We should go to the hospital.
and I was like, he's right, my contraptions are 30 seconds apart. So now it's a little bit of a different vibe when I get to the hospital. And I get to the hospital, and I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm probably in the most pain anyone's ever been in, ever. And I go to the nurse, and I'm like, listen, nurse, I'm in labor, and I'm having a harder time than anyone's ever had in labor, and I need to get in the birthing bath, because in the birthing bath, I'm gonna feel better. Water's gonna be there, and then I'm gonna just have my baby just slip out of me like a dolphin, I need to get in the birthing bath. Get me in the birthing bath. Please get me in the birthing bath. And then the nurse says to me,
Sorry, lady, some other chick took it.
And I'm like, what? I was here earlier. I was supposed to be in the birthing bath. I need to get into the bath. And then the nurse says to me,
We can put you in that dirty tub.
so I'm like, okay. So she takes me over to where a bathtub is, just like a regular bathtub you would have in your house. It wasn't like a luxurious birthing bath. So I take off my clothes, and I kind of squeeze my body into the bath, and I'm just waiting for the water to fill up. It's probably here in my thighs. And I'm like, okay, the water's gonna come. The water's gonna come, and I'm gonna feel so much better. I'm gonna feel better finally. And then something strange happens, and then the nurse says to me,
Oh, crap, my finger.
and she cut her finger and was bleeding in the bath. And I'm like, there's blood in the bath. And the nurse says,
Yeah, you gotta get out.
But I was supposed to feel better in the bath. And now someone else's blood is inside of me. So I'm naked, and I get out of the bath, and now I'm really cold, because the hospital is very air-conditioned, and so I'm cold and I'm naked, and I don't know what to do. So I turn to my husband for support, and I say, what am I gonna do now? I'm cold and I'm naked. What should I do?
We could, put you in the shower, babe.
Okay. But I go into the birthing room, and the shower is very small, so my husband has to literally shove me in the shower. And now I'm in the shower, and he takes the shower head, and he's trying to rinse me off of it, rinse me off like an elephant, but he doesn't know how to use it, so he's just spraying water in my face, and water's just going in my face, and I'm like, and my husband says,
Babe, I don't know how to make the water warm.
I know, and it's freezing cold water, and I'm like, get me out of here. So then he has to pull me out of the shower, okay? And so now things are really not going well, okay? And I'm like, I really just need to feel better. I need to feel better. Maybe the nurse will have some idea about how I can feel better, because I feel worse than anyone's ever felt. So then the nurse says to me,
Here, you can try this birthing ball.
oh, the birthing ball. So then I try sitting on the birthing ball, and then the birthing ball just disappears. So now I'm really freaking out, right? And now I feel it. It's time to push, right? And I'm like, oh my God, it's time to push. Okay, wait a minute. Where are the drugs? I need the drugs. Why isn't anyone giving me any drugs? Oh my God, why isn't anyone giving me any drugs? And then I go to my husband, where are all the drugs? Why aren't you giving me any drugs?
Babe, in your birth plan, you said you didn't want any drugs or no one to talk to you.
My goddamn natural birthing plan. And then I was like, oh my God. Okay, well, my effort to show everybody how much better I am than them, I really kind of screwed the pooch on this one. No drugs for me. It's time to push. I feel something. It's starting to come. And then, oh no, I feel something. And then. Wait, hold on. I'm still pushing. Okay, hold on. And then finally her head comes out, and I'm like a mythical two-headed creature. And then we make direct eye contact. And I'm like, what's next? So the baby's head's hanging out of me, right? And I'm like, doctor, what's gonna happen next? What's next? And then the doctor says to me,
just reach down and pull out your baby.
What are you doing down there, texting?
No.
And I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can deliver my own baby. I mean, I did do acid on a Tuesday once. So all of a sudden, I had given one more push and, Anyamananyama mamalissima. And I'm supposed to respect a man after that? So then I bring the baby to my chest, and we don't even know what the baby is because I just brought it right to my heart. And it's for the first time I'm looking at this beautiful, healthy being, and I realize it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl because identity is all an illusion. The only thing that could possibly matter is that this child has my heart. And then it was time to cut the umbilical cord, and my husband goes to cut it, and then he says,
babe, our son is like a really big, you know.
And then the doctor looks at my husband very confused, and he says, that's your daughter's umbilical cord.
Incredible. Wow. What a way to close out the show. Thank you so much. If you have a raffle ticket, we will do that in here after the show ends so that those of you who want to take off can take off. Let's give a round of applause again to everyone who performed.
And again, for yourselves, your mothers, any parent, anyone that's ever given the love to a child, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, caregivers.
Thank you.
Give the vendors just a moment to reopen. Holly with the beautiful moth wings, the Lavender story with the hoarder house. She is, those lovely earrings she was wearing, those are her designs, the wild perennial earrings. And then we also have Slipstream Studio down there and a new book I just published. So give it a moment. They'll be up and ready in just a moment. Other than that, yeah, stick around if you want the raffle. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Evan, for doing the sound. Thank you, all the volunteers. Thank you to you for coming out.
Thank you for showing up, Saxon's River.
Yes.